A change in perspective. How I went from thinking a commuter college could only be classes and homework to finding a second home on campus. So, what changed first? The easy answer is that I signed up to attend WOW, or Wolverine Outdoor Welcome, in 2018 as a camper. I spent around 4 days building friendships, completing high ropes courses, setting college career goals, learning to communicate more effectively, and figuring out who I wanted to be in the coming 4 years. 2018 Bridget was a completely different person. I didn't think that I'd be able to make so many connections so quickly. I also wasn't expecting to show up on the first day of classes and know an entire crowd of people, but I did, and that immediately changed how I saw myself on campus. Being part of the WOW family meant I was my true, authentic self. And I was my true, authentic self surrounded by a group of people that I considered to be family. My WOW family was my greatest supporter on campus during my first year of college. They were the reason that even though I failed Calculus 3 the first time I took it, I had the confidence to continue as an engineer and repeat the course where I ultimately earned an A+. They were also the reason that I felt confident enough to apply to be an orientation leader. They made sure to emphasize that I had all the necessary skills needed for the job. I was a strong leader, a strong communicator, and their favorite member of the WOW family. I distinctly remember finding out that I got the job while sitting in the UC, surrounded by the people that I cared about the most. I'm so grateful for my WOW family and the impact that they've had on my life. During my time as an orientation leader, I learned a ton of new things, but I think that there's one lesson that stands out to me as being the most important. Being an OL taught me to say, I don't know right now. While I may not know right now, I can and will know in the future. Out of all the classes I've taken, all the equations I've memorized, the free body diagrams I've drawn, the lesson of I don't know right now is arguably the most important lesson I could have learned during my college career. It has shaped my leadership style and allowed me to be a better team player, professional, critical thinker, and leader. Being an orientation leader opened a ton of doors for me, and through them, I found my place. I had people I cared about and people that cared for me. I was also able to be me in my most true and authentic form. I signed up to do so many things after being an orientation leader, but one of the most important was my return to WOW in 2019 as a counselor. I hoped to impact students' lives in a positive way, just like WOW in 2018 had done for me, and then WOW was over, and I felt a little lost. Everything that I was so heavily involved in had reached a close. I was in a relationship that isolated me from my WOW family, and I was stranded with nowhere to go. Then I was given an amazing opportunity: join the First Gen leadership team. Out of all the wonderful things that I've done during my time at U of M Dearborn, joining the First Gen leadership team alongside Brandon and Reem is one of the most rewarding and impactful experiences I have had. Our team was able to positively impact the lives of first generation students from January through September of 2020. The only reason our work as the First Gen leadership team stopped was because our work for the newly founded First Gen Student Org began. There are so many things that I could say about the impact that being a student organization leader has had on my life. Being a part of the First Gen Student Org while we built it from the ground up taught me so many things and forced me to grow during a time that I thought I was going to be stuck at home and stuck in a standstill. I didn't even know that I was a first generation college student until Salo Ortiz told me in November of 2019 and encouraged me to apply to the leadership team. If it wasn't for that encouragement and that push to be involved even more on campus, I don't know where I'd be right now. I had been given an amazing opportunity right before the pandemic struck. And for me, the pandemic struck hard. I spent around 17 months isolated from anything outside the bubble of my home. And I'm so grateful that I had the ability to do that. But I'm also so grateful for my fellow First Gen Student Org board members for keeping me sane while I navigated online learning and what life looked like while not leaving my house. I had a family outside of my four walls, and I'm so grateful for all of them. Through different stories shared on late night Discord calls and different perspectives brought to meetings and events, I was able to expand my worldview and better understand others without ever leaving my house. From the comforts of my home, I was building my understanding of other cultures and becoming a more equitable and inclusive individual. I even had the honor of being named the Outstanding First Generation Student for 2021. So I went from not even knowing I was a first gen student in 2019 to being recognized as the Outstanding First Generation Student in 2021. A lot can change in 2 years. So, how do you change your perspective? The first step is get involved. Find a group of people on campus that can help support you. This can be faculty, staff, or peers. It isn't limited to just your classmates. If it weren't for the people that I knew on campus, I wouldn't have been as involved or as engaged with campus life. There's so many opportunities to engage with campus, and if you can make campus feel like a second home, you will forever change how you see the campus community and the opportunities that you have. I was more aware of the impact others had on my life after I started reflecting on my experiences in the Talent Gateway. It provided me evidence that I was growing and changing for the better while also serving as a place for me to talk about what I was going through. Change your perspective by getting involved, and then don't forget to write about it in the Talent Gateway.